Hey guys, and welcome back to my FPL strategy. Before looking ahead to Game Week 5, with the international break in full swing, let's take a detailed review of how my team performed in Game Week 4. Quality prevailed as Burnley suffered defeat at the hands of Liverpool. Despite conceding 3 goals, Nick Pope had a decent game. Before the deadlock was broken, the English keeper made a fine save to deny Salah, but could do very little with Liverpool's first, and was completely left exposed for Liverpool's second. Nevertheless, the English keeper made 5 saves, resulting in 2 points instead of 1. I guess every point counts. Burnley has a good run of fixtures, not playing a single top 6 team to Game Week 10, so I'm hoping Nick Pope will deliver some decent FPL points. United were held to a 3rd consecutive Premier League match without a win, as 10 men Southampton dogged a 1-0 draw. From a defensive perspective, Wan-Bissaka had another excellent display, defensively outstanding, winning most of his battles. Though the young right back is no stranger to pushing forward, his final third play still has some room for improvement. Thus, if United are struggling to keep clean sheets, it's less likely Wan-Bissaka will deliver some attacking returns. United's next 5 fixtures are not the best on paper, facing informed Leicester City next, Arsenal in Game Week 7, and before they welcome Liverpool in Game Week 9. United are yet to keep a clean sheet so far this season, and the announcement that Wan-Bissaka was withdrawn from international duties due to an injury, I must admit, I'm already tempted to exchange the right back. Everton outscores Wolves in a 5-goal thriller by 3 goals to 2. It was looking very bleak for Lucas Digne. Throughout the match he struggled to contain Chirag's pace and strength. He was beaten far too easily for Wolves' equaliser, and beaten again for Jimenez's header in the second half. But the French left back did redeem himself, setting up the winning goal 10 minutes from stoppage time. Strangely enough, his performance was good enough to earn him additional 1 point, returning a respectable 5 points. I'm not complaining. Apart from the home match against Man City, Everton's next 5 games are pretty favourable, with 3 of the fixtures being played at home. City bagged their 2nd clean sheet of the season, beating Brighton by 4 goals to none. Zinchenko had a decent game, was effective going forward, producing the pass to free Silva, who set up Kevin De Bruyne's first goal of the season. However, he was caught napping early on in the second half, which could have led to a Brighton goal. Nevertheless, the Ukrainian left-back returned and welcomed 6 points. Man City's next game is an away match against newly promoted side Norwich. With City defensive injury problems, I'm hoping Zinchenko's starting 11 spot continues to strengthen. But with Mendy back in training, there's always that slight risk. Liverpool secured their first clean sheet of the season, beating Burnley 3-0. Van Dijk had a strong performance. The UEFA's Men's Player of the Year completely dominated Wood and Barnes in the air as well as in possession. Undoubtedly one of Liverpool's most important players in this year's title race. His performance was strong enough to earn the centre-back 1 additional point, returning a solid 7 points. The Reds' next fixture is a tasty home match against Newcastle. In the last home match against the Magpies, Liverpool scored 4 goals with no reply. In the last encounter, Van Dijk scored the opening goal in the 3-2 victory. Sterling blanks in a 4-0 victory against Brighton. It was an unusual afternoon for the English international. In the opening period, Sterling looked focused, running into space, creating openings for others. He should have really at least bagged an assist, but the opportunity was put out wide by David Silva. But unfortunately for me, as my captain, Sterling returned a disappointing 6 points. Man City's next 5 fixtures are very winnable. Despite Sterling blanking in Game Week 4, the English winger still rates top for expected goals, and for me he's no doubt a season keeper. Liverpool's number 10 delivers in the 3-0 victory over Burnley. Mane has been Liverpool's most deadly player in 2019. His performance against Burnley was ruthless, scoring Liverpool's second. He was surprisingly substituted 15 minutes from time, which provoked an angry reaction by the Senegalese. Not at the substitution itself, but at Mo Salah's decision not to pass to Mane, who was free on goal. Mane is up against Newcastle next, a desirable fixture on paper. My captain pick this week is huge, with no doubt Mo Salah will be strong favourite for the captain armband, and thus whoever I decide to pick as my captain will have to at least match the Egyptian. Could Mane be that guy? De Bruyne's fine form continues, scoring in the 4-0 victory against Brighton. Belgian international was in exceptional form against the Seagulls, and was arguably City's best player. But with Aguero's brace, this does present a frustrating dilemma on which 3 attacking City players one should have. De Bruyne's up against Norwich next. The Belgian international has created more chance than any other FPL player so far this season, and is ranked second for expected assists. West Ham sealed their first home win of the season, beating Norwich 2-0. In the first half, Norwich offered plenty going forward, but want the same after losing their centre-back. Cantwell was close to scoring in the first half, when he headed over the bar from close range. But all in all, Norwich's chances were very limited, which was a massive disappointment considering West Ham's poor defence. Despite the tough home match against Man City, Norwich has a good run of fixtures. Todd Cantwell is third for the expected goals, but with Pukki in the squad, it's very unlikely I will play the English midfielder against Man City. Pukki blanks for the first time this season. The Norwich manager suggested in his post-reaction that West Ham tweaked their system to limit Pukki's threat. Reviewing the highlights, Pukki certainly got close attention, but equally the forward had very little support up front. Nevertheless, Pukki did test the keeper twice, with a shot from close range and a header in the box. Pukki's next challenge is a tough match against Man City. The dilemma now is whether I start the Finnish international or bench him for GAMEWEEK 5. Ashley Barnes blanks for the first time this season in a 3-0 defeat against Liverpool. It was always going to be a challenge for Ashley Barnes against the likes of Van Dijk, and it proved to be the case as the Burnley striker was given very little chance to impact the game. He was consequently substituted in the second half, and thus only returned 2 points for match appearance. The upcoming fixture for Barnes points to potential success, facing Brighton, Norwich and Aston Villa in the next 3. So in the end, for GameWeek 4, I got a below average score of 55 points, 2 points below the GameWeek average. So moving on to my transfer thoughts for GameWeek 5. With 1.1 mil in the bank and 2 free transfers, the players that are currently on my watch list are Pepe from Arsenal and Son from Spurs. Both players look on the brink of delivering some serious attacking returns. Plus, considering my current ranking, both players have less than 5% ownership, and thus could be the differential I'm looking for. However, in order to make this move, I'm going to potentially downgrade one of my premium defenders, which I'm not quite ready to do so. So at the moment, I'm currently contemplating using only one of my transfers and banking my 2 free transfers for GameWeek 6. So with just the one transfer at my disposal, my initial thoughts to exchange injured Wan-Bissaka for Matchit, in hope that Liverpool bags a clean sheet against Newcastle. If I do proceed with this move, I'm likely to play a 4-4-2 formation. For captaincy, considering I don't have Salah, Sterling's probably the sensible choice. However, I must admit I'm slightly tempted in giving the armband to Mane. I'm hoping that Martial is fit to play against Leicester City, otherwise if not, Lobstrop against Southampton plays from the bench. Please note my team is not locked in, but if you're interested in seeing my final team selection, be sure to follow me on Twitter. All my details in the description below. Likewise, if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit the like button and get subscribed to the channel. Otherwise, this is my FPL strategy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.